Hello, beautiful one, beautiful soul that is you, here and now, divinely perfect, just as you are. Now, I was asked to share my story or my spiritual experiences, and I honestly have been putting off this video because I don't know why. It keeps feeling like it's exciting and expansive, and then I start kind of trying to timeline everything out, and it's like I give up because it's like too much mental focus, too much timeline, um, figuring out the logistics of everything, trying to remember, and what is even worth sharing, what could help others, or you know trying to figure it out. So I'm just gonna go for it. So me, as a human, I love to do things differently. I love to go against the grain. I love to go against authority or society or what you're supposed to be doing. Even as a child and like a young teenager, I went against the grain. I don't have any better words for that other than if you weren't supposed to do it, I wanted to try it. And I didn't really care how others perceived me because, in a sense, I had always felt out of place, or like I knew that there was something more, but couldn't really picture it. And I didn't really think it was possible to connect with this something more ness that I felt deep within. I don't even know if I can come up with words to describe it. But I've always been drawn to energy, to spirit, to mediumship, to aliens, to anything mystical or energy related. I remember reading a book in 3rd grade about a cat who was reincarnated, and that to me was just like, it blew my mind because it was so different from anything else I had learned in school. So I grew up. I did go to college for a couple of years. I had children. I did do things that you were told you were supposed to do. So I had children. I got the house. I got the dog. Got the mortgage. And yet I still struggled with feeling like I was missing something, or like there was something more, and like I was kind of living in a facade but not able to escape it, or like figure out how to get in touch with what I was feeling deep within. So I struggled with substances kind of off and on as a teenager, but then again, after a house fire and losing my house, I struggled with substances again, and would say I was extremely addicted to substances off and on for 8 years. And every time I would try to get clean, I would get clean, and I just could never stay clean. I just knew that I would be going back in these cycles of using, getting clean, trying, and just never feeling normal afterwards, or never feeling like I could stay clean. 2019, I got clean for the who knows what time, and this time I did something different. I just randomly on Facebook saw an advertisement for a Reiki session, and again, I've always been drawn to energy, to anything spiritual, so I was like, okay, let's try this. So I got a Reiki session, and that opened me up extremely. I, within, days, was seeing things that were not there, hearing things, hearing spirits of people I knew, people I didn't know. I was seeing shadowy figures and creatures. I was sensing everything all at once. And mind you, at this time, I was not really loving myself. I didn't have the inner confidence or self-love. So these things I was seeing on the outside were pretty scary and dark at times, or I couldn't figure them out. Um, but I did have a sense like I knew I was opening up because it wasn't all bad. I started to hear a voice that I would describe as my higher self. Maybe, I don't know if I want to use the word God, but it was not even a voice. It is just a feeling, a knowing so strong that no one outside of you can convince you otherwise. And this voice, I remember hearing it, and it said, okay, if you were, with God right now, what would you ask him? And I said, am I doing it right? And then it just flew and then just flooded me through my every cell of a knowing and a message back of like, of course you are, like you have no idea who you are and what you are capable of. But I still at the time didn't know. I felt like I needed to know what I was supposed to do. Like, am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to do that? I wanted to figure it out. I wanted to have a plan and do it right in some way, shape, or form. So for a while I was scared of my own darkness, and then finally I just faced my own darkness, and whether you call it a dark night of the soul, kind of experienced that in cycles of a couple of years. Lots of healing, lots of energy work, lots of shadow work, I guess you could say, and definitely would consider that I was on a spiritual path for some time. Then I eventually learned Reiki myself and wanted to expand my gifts. I wanted to help other people. I didn't know what that looked like, but I knew that I loved Reiki. I loved energy work, and I felt like that was a good gateway to, whatever else was out there. So I started practicing Reiki. I would do card readings and like channeling. I would always receive, messages from my guides or messages from other people's guides or anything that I, wanted to channel and kind of bring through that unconditional love, I would say, of whatever you want to call it, whether it's higher self or guides or spirit animals, however you perceive. But I did that for some time and felt comfortable doing that. I really learned a lot, and yet there is so much out there. There's so many people, so many healers, so many teachers, and not that that's a bad thing, but man, there's so many voices telling you how to do it, what's the right way, what's right, what's wrong. So I felt like I was really open, and yet there was so much information that it was overwhelming, and I just had to go within. I physically lost everything outside of me. So again, lost my house. This was the house that we rebuilt after the first house fire. Lost my home, lost my dog, lost my dad, lost my car, lost my job, and moved to a location, a different location. And I just, for a year, felt like I was in a cave with myself, like literally. I didn't want to communicate with other people. I didn't even know how to communicate with other people. If it was someone I knew or my family, I'd kind of like, still interact here and there. But honestly, I just wanted to be with me, and really needed to hibernate for a year and a half. So I literally, once I started making these videos, is me coming out of hibernation, me putting myself out there. I've been guided to create videos, to put myself out there for some time, but was definitely not comfortable with that. Again, I love being by myself. I don't like putting myself out there. But after all the inner reflection, I started opening up to, I don't know, saying the word non-duality or no separation. That even feels like it's boxing what I'm feeling now, because I don't have words for the way I perceive now. And I do not know all the answers. I feel like every moment, every day is me open to experience more, to get to know myself better, and to love myself. to nurture myself, to flow with what feels right to me. Um, Trying to think if I missed anything important. But yeah, again, this is a story of me, the human Laura, and yes, the human aspect is important, is special. You would not be here experiencing what we call life if you weren't a human right now. So your human aspect, your story, your experiences are sacred, are valued, are important. Sometimes as the human aspect, it feels like you would love to be higher. I would love to be my higher self. I would love to be flowing as divinity 24/7, but the ups and downs, the flaws, the imperfections, the humanness is just as important as the flowing as your higher self, being here now. Yeah, so I think it took me a while to make this video because I was struggling with trying to figure out with my mind how I would describe myself, if that makes sense. Like, is there a human aspect of me and then a divinity aspect of me? And how does that fit? The mind always wants to figure it out and, be able to see the big picture. But I've kind of let go of the picture and I'm just here, I'm now. I'm open to whatever is here and whatever I'm feeling guided to. So yeah, I feel like I'm in the unknown daily, moment by moment. I have loose plans or I have goals and dreams that I would like to connect with or experience, but I feel like going through the letting go of all the physical things, the shedding, the layers of healing, I know and can hear that inner voice stronger than ever, and I trust myself now. So I know within who I am, more of who I am, and have that inner conviction, inner trust to keep flowing, keep growing, even if it feels like it's against the grain, even if I feel like I don't fit in a box or I, can't describe myself. So I hope you enjoyed my story time. And I feel like we all are here, yes, having unique and different experiences, but we are all going through the same growth, the same expansion, the same going within. I feel like we're either kind of a little conscious of that or we are oblivious or ignoring the fact that everything that you can kind of hold on to and grasp is shifting, is moving, and it's a time of having to go, like the answers are within for everybody. Everybody has to go within to find what they are looking for. So it can be confusing, it can be lonely, but keep going because it is beautiful. It is a beautiful experience, journey, if you want to call it that. And again, I don't have all the answers. I'm not here in some special place after figuring anything out. Like nothing happened to me that got me to this point. It's the paradox that is here, that is here as me, as you, as the human aspect, the divinity appearing as a human in a very solid world, apparently disconnected from its source. So, but I hope you enjoyed my story, like I said, and thank you for being here. Thank you for connecting with the energy that is me. And I truly love you. Thank you.